Hello and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Abigail and I am excited to share with you on this topic on bone health. Now, if you think bone health is important, type yes in the chat box. Okay, if you think bone health is important and something worth looking into, type yes in the chat box. And while you are typing, a little disclaimer that the content shared today is designed for educational purposes only. It is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of a physician and other qualified health providers with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Now, if you type yes in the chat box, give yourself a pat on your shoulder. Why? Why be so interested about our bones and why do you think it's important? It's because if we are not, then it is very easy for bone disease to set in. Now, how many of us are above the age of 25? I'm above the age of 25, right? And our body goes through a natural aging process. From building, it turns to degenerating. So from degenerating is part of the natural aging process. And what it means for our bones is that our bones begin to break down faster, then new bones can be formed. Okay, and if we don't support our bones with the nutrients that it needs, then that's where our bones are more likely to suffer bone disease, or we are more likely to suffer from bone disease. Okay, and why do we say it's a silent killer? It's because an estimate of 1.5 million people suffer from osteoporotic related fractures, and 1 in 3 people with hip fractures suffers a considerable loss of functions and becomes dependent on other people. Because think about it, all of a sudden they're not able to do a lot of daily things that they used to be able to. And in Singapore, 1 in 5 people with osteoporotic hip fractures die within a year. Why is that? It's because it doesn't just affect a person or restricts the person's mobility or impairs their mobility. It also affects the person mentally. What you used to be able to do, now you can't do. And so the morale is really low and it just affects a person overall. And so what are some common health bone-related diseases? First one is osteoporosis, commonly heard of. What it means is that our bones are characterized by low bone mass, deterioration of bone density or bone tissues, and that leads to bone fragility. So if you look at the screen, you would notice 3 squares at the bottom left, and you would notice the normal bone looks really good and healthy. You have the bone mass there, and the one in the middle, you can see the porous part becoming bigger. And then severe osteoporosis on the rightmost square, you will see how it has overtaken. The porous part has overtaken the bone. And if the person were to fall, think with me, do you think their bones will be able to withstand the impact of the fall? I don't think so, right? And that's where fractures begins, okay? And in women, bone loss accelerates after menopause when they stop producing estrogen. And that's the hormone that helps to protect against bone loss. In Singapore, over the last 30 years, hip fractures in those aged 50 and above has increased, and especially so in women. Osteomalacia is the softening of the bones due to a vitamin D and calcium deficiency because our body is not able to absorb phosphorus and calcium properly. Some common signs are bone pain and muscle weakness. Dull aching pain mostly affects the lower back, pelvis and hips, legs and ribs. The pain might worsen at night or when you put pressure on it, and the pain is rarely relieved completely by rest. Okay, so this is a deficiency of vitamin D and the inability to absorb calcium and phosphorus properly. The next bone-related disease is rickets, and rickets occur most commonly in third world countries and children there due to the nutritional deficiencies that occurs during early childhood. And it's a deficiency in vitamin D that affects the body's ability to accept calcium and phosphorus, and it will lead to poor functioning of bone growth, leading to softened and weakened bones, and in severe cases, bones deformity or skeletal deformity. Okay, now bone disease, it can happen at any age. It can even happen in early childhood, but only surface much later. And so it is very important for us to be able to support our bones right from when a child is very young, giving them calcium rich foods, nutrient dense foods to support their bone health. Okay, and so what are bones? So these are the 3 layers of our bones, right? And bones are living tissues that makes up our body skeletal system. We had 206 bones in our body. Now take a look at yourself. Isn't that amazing? And when you look at a baby, they've got even more bones than you have, because they have about 270 to 300 bones in them. So some of the main function of our bones is to provide protection for vital organs like our heart, our brains, our stomach, our liver, right? And then it also provides an environment for our marrow that produces the platelets and white blood cells. It also helps us to store minerals essential for bone density and strength. It also helps us to provide structural support for our body. So can you imagine if you don't have any bones? It also enables that we have, it enables mobility and movement in our body, right? Another thing about bones is that if our bones is broken, it will regrow and repair themselves. That's hope, right? So even if you had a fracture or if you have a broken bone, if you give it the right tools that it needs in nutrient form, then your body is able to recognize it and you give it the opportunity to regrow and repair themselves. Okay, and bones are constantly worn down and remade. Essentially, every 7 years, we have new bones. How cool is that? So everybody say with me, there's hope. It's never too late to start, okay? And we just need to give our body the chance to, and the tools that it needs to support the bone density growth, right? So calcium, when we think about minerals that our bones need, calcium is on the top of the list, right? And you know what? Calcium is not just there to support our bone health. It also helps us to make sure that our cell membrane functions well. It's important for nerve conduction, for proper clotting of our blood, for muscle contraction, and to regulate enzymes in our body. Now, some symptoms of calcium deficiency will also include aching joints, brittle nails, muscle cramps, nervousness, numbness, arthritis, rickets, tooth decay, osteopenia. Okay, and with calcium, there are other minerals that supports how calcium is being utilized and used, and also how our body is able to support our bones. So it's not just calcium that we need. It needs an array of minerals to synergize together and work together, okay? And so first up, we have got vitamin D. Vitamin D helps us to promote absorption of calcium and phosphorus. As mentioned earlier, right, you saw the bone diseases of like osteomalacia or rickets. They happen because we don't have enough vitamin D. That helps us to absorb calcium and phosphorus. So you see how they all work together. There's no one mineral that's more important or outshines the other. They all work together in synergy. Okay, and so vitamin D helps us to boost our immunity, which is very important now. It protects against muscle weakness. It's necessary for our thyroid health. And our thyroid produces a hormone called parathyroids, and parathyroids helps to oversee all of calcium's activity. So it's a little bit like our calcium's manager, right? It sees calcium and says, okay, that's what you do, right? So that's what vitamin D does. And deficiency in vitamin D would include osteomalacia. Zinc is another essential mineral, and it's important for the bone formation. Deficiency in zinc would include hair loss, diarrhea, eye and skin conditions, or delayed wound healing. All right, another one is called boron. Everybody say boron. Have you heard of boron before? So what boron is, it is an essential mineral that supports healthy bone functions. And it aids the support absorption of calcium, magnesium, and vitamin D, a lot of which are on the screen right now, which means they are essential minerals. And so with boron, our body is able to absorb it better and allow our body to utilize these minerals, because after all, if we take it, we want our body to use it, right? And you see, it brings the absorption to the next level. So think of it like a sidekick of all these other minerals. Without it, it's not going to be used well, right? Used optimally. And there's a Professor Jeffries and he's an orthopedic surgeon at Octogate Hospital. He says that it has been shown that patients who have been taking boron supplements had harder bones than compared to normal arthritic patients. And so boron, the mineral boron is really important, especially for our bone health. Next, we've got magnesium. Magnesium supports the transportation of calcium inside our cells, helps us to maintain healthy nerve and muscle functions. Deficiency will also include muscular cramps, weakness, tremor, fatigues, and a lot more. Now think with me, if we don't take enough of these minerals, what's going to happen to our body? So you see, in our modern diet, 8 out of 10 of us don't get sufficient calcium and minerals. So where do you think your body is getting minerals from? And very specifically calcium. Where do you think your body is getting all these minerals from? Well, you do need minerals to continue, right? To do your daily stuff. So see, think of it as our bones like a built-in storage system for calcium. So if we don't get enough calcium from the food that we're taking our diet, then our parathyroid glands then sends out a signal to our bones to release it into our system so that we're still able to continue our daily lifestyle, right? And continual withdrawal of calcium from your bone bank will pose a danger and acceleration towards bone disease. So if you look at this, if you look at it, you see our bone mass and our age. See, the more we mature and grow, the more we need to invest into our bone bank. So think of it as our bones as a bank. If we don't put in, and we don't put in calcium, we don't put in the minerals that it needs, then we won't have very much in our bank when we need it, right? And so as we mature and we grow, the more we need to invest into our bone bank through our diet and our exercise. So you see, our body at any stage will need calcium, right? And these are some of the daily requirements that we need at various stages in our lives, from infant all the way to seniors. And when a mom is pregnant or lactating, her needs will be very different too. And it's it, with every pregnancy, a woman loses a tooth. And that's why it's very important for ladies to make sure that they have enough calcium-rich food. And if you're tackling a bone-related issue, it is very important for us to also make sure that we need more than whatever age you are at, because your bones will need that additional support and boost. Okay. And now it's come to the exciting part of how. How then can we support our bones? How then can we boost our calcium intake? Because 85% of us are not consuming enough nutrients, not consuming enough calcium from the food that we're taking. And both the nutritional and the medical fields have acknowledged that there is a need for additional supplements. Because right now, with the way the food is, it is not enough. And so what kind of food and supplements should we take to get the greatest benefits possible? You see, we're often very careful about the amount of calories that we take, the fat content, the sugar that the food has. But how conscious or how aware are we about how nutrient dense our food are? And so we're going to learn to look at our food through the lens of feeding our body nutrients. So the first step before we go into food is to observe a wafer lifestyle. So we look at the water that we drink. What kind of water are we drinking? Our body needs the minerals, that's right. But the water that we will advocate is distilled water. Why? Because the minerals found in water would load our kidneys. It is not recognizable by our cells. And so our body really needs water in its purest form. And that's through distilled water. Okay, and then we've got air. Are we taking deep breaths, giving our body enough oxygen? Food that we take, is the food that we're eating nutrient dense? Exercise. Now, exercise does contribute to strong, healthy bones. Our body needs weight-bearing exercise, and that contributes to strong, healthy bones. All right. Rest. Our body needs rest. How long are we sleeping each night? The quality of sleep. And for rest, it's very interesting to know that what we do a few hours before our sleep does have an impact on the quality of sleep that we have. And so it's very important for us to relook into what we're doing just before bedtime. Okay, and then sunshine. talks about the emotional state that we're at, the mental well-being and our spiritual well-being, because really it encompasses. So I mean, Wafer Lifestyle encompasses our whole being and not just different aspects, the bones, just the bones. Okay, and so if we look at ourselves as a whole person, as a total person, that's a very healthy standpoint to start from. So when we go into food, we're talking about food that is nutrient dense, food that will support our body. And so when we think about calcium rich food, these are some calcium rich foods. So take a look at the screen. You would notice a whole array of leafy greens. And our leafy greens are full of calcium, full of iron that is very important for our body. It's loaded with highly absorbable calcium and minerals. So that's what our body needs, right? We need calcium that is recognizable by our body. And so these are some array that, some variety that is available in the markets. I mean, go to the supermarkets, go to the wet markets, and be amazed at how many varieties there are. 1 cup of leafy greens is 1 serving, and 1 serving has about 70 to 90 mg of calcium. That's quite good, right? Okay, and one of the best way of getting greens, I mean, besides having like salads and enjoying them fresh, it's best to enjoy them fresh, of course, if you can, because you will get a lot more nutrients out of it as compared to cooked vegetables. Because once you cook it, a lot of the sensitive nutrients in there, we're not just talking about calcium, but a lot of the sensitive nutrients found in vegetables are heat sensitive. And so when you cook them, imagine you just cooked your nutrients to death. Yeah, and so one of the best way for me, I found, is to have my greens in a juice. And well, juicing provides me the nutrients that I need and the minerals to boost my my body with the nutrients that it needs, and it's in its most digestible form. It's easily absorbable and quickly digested and assimilated, meaning in a matter of 10 to 15, 20 minutes, my body is able to absorb the nutrients. Okay, so this is my favorite juicer, the Alpha Juicer, and this is a new one. So it's the DA1200. It is faster to juice and it's more functions. You can join us for Juicing for Health to know more about the juicer. But you know what? Juicing my cup of greens is really a very quick way for me to get in my my calcium intake and to boost my mineral content too. Not just that, but carrots are also full of calcium too, right? And it's also full of vitamin D. And then if you look at it, almond milk is another one that I love. Almond milk is high in calcium, and when we make it in almond milk form, it makes it more digestible for our body. Yeah, and then what we do is we sprout the almonds to make it more activate it to make it more nutrient dense. Okay, so one way that we make our almonds is using the Alpha Juicer, and I want to show you a video because I want to show you how easy it is to make your own almond milk at home to get the goodness of the almond and enjoy the benefits of it. Okay, so keep your eyes fixed on the screen and we will watch how easy it is for you to make your own almond milk at home. Okay, and so that was pretty easy, wasn't it? The video was done by Gabriel, who also makes her own almond milk. And so almond milk, we love it together on its own. We love it together with our oats. It makes a very creamy base, and you're getting the full benefits of the calcium in there and other minerals. Okay, and so I urge you to just give it a try to make your own almond milk at home, and you will not regret it. Okay, if you need to sweeten it up, you can always add in a bit of honey if you want to. Okay, and so these are some juice combinations that we love too. It doesn't just support our bones, but it also support the rest of our body. So like the carrot green apple blend combination is great for our kidneys and our liver too. And so you can do a quick screenshot of it, and you know, if it's a combination you've never tried before, I encourage you to be adventurous and try it. Actually, these three combinations are nothing out of the world. It's quite easy to drink and quite nice and very light. And it will encourage you to enjoy your juices. Another very, very common source of calcium is dairy. But dairy has also been linked to a lot of allergies. Some allergies will include skin issues, phlegm, frequent flu, gas, bloating, diarrhea, constipation, sinus, digestive problems. And if you are Asian, we are more likely to be lactose intolerant, which would then lead to all these allergies, right? And so while dairy is a good source of calcium, it shouldn't be our main source of calcium. And if you are lactose intolerant, one way that we still can enjoy the benefits of dairy is to convert our dairy into yogurt. Okay, and so in 1 cup of yogurt, we have got 450 mg of calcium. That's quite hefty, isn't it? And it doesn't just have calcium in there. A cup of freshly homemade yogurt not only add calcium to us, but it brings a lot of other goodness, like your vitamin D, your minerals, a friendly bacteria that's found in your yogurt, and that helps you to help to promote a healthy intestinal tract. Okay, and live active cultures is very important in yogurt because that's where your friendly bacteria comes in. Okay, and New Zealand milk, I love New Life milk powder. Now, the source of our milk for our yogurt is also very important. And the milk in New Life, which has made a comeback, is from New Zealand, from the West Coast, New Zealand, South Islands. It is from free-range cows, meaning that the cows are fed unadulterated lush green pastures. They are not treated with growth hormones or injected with antibiotics or pesticides. They are low fat, which is suitable for adults and even for people who are battling cancer. Because and then for people with cancer, please just remove the first 1 cm because that's where the highest fat content is. Okay, but other than that, it's great. And so the type of milk that we use or the quality of milk is very important for the result of the yogurt that we want. Okay, and so if you've never made your own yogurt, I would like to show you a video of how you can make your own yogurt at home. And it's really simple, and you get to enjoy the benefits right in your very own home. So keep your eyes fixed on the screen. Wasn't that a really easy way of making yogurt? Just stir, put in, stir, put it in the incubator and let it rest and let it ferment. And then you get homemade yogurt, fresh homemade yogurt in your very own home. Amazing. I would encourage you to make that at home and then share with us your results, okay? Because I would love to hear how you made it and what did you do with your yogurt. Okay, and other sources of calcium, calcium-rich food and whole food extracts all under one roof. And so these are some other whole foods that is rich in calcium. You have your colostrum, your low-fat milk powder, and then your yogurt. You've got apple cider, raw honey, flaxseed oil that is great in omegas for us. And then we got bee pollen, kelp, and calcium. So first up, we're going to talk about calcium, colostrum. Colostrum is the first milk from a mother cow. It is filled with immune factors, natural growth factors. It is IgG concentrated of 250 mg per serving. It's got DHA, EPA, which is great for our brain's development. It's good for anyone of any age. So it's not just good for a brain, means it's for young ones. It's great for us all through our years. It is very essential for bone growth and bone repair. It is a product of New Zealand. It is easy to mix, it's pesticide free, it is free from hormones, free from antibiotics, and colostrum contains a large quantity of immunoglobulins and less lactose compared to true milk or mature milk or normal milk. Okay, and so this is really good in supporting our immune system. It is also great to make sure that our bones are given the extra boost that it needs. Another pot of gold, I call it, is raw honey, a pot of gold of calcium. Okay, and so what does honey do? Raw organic honey, you will not find the tag organic here because of Dr. Lin's great heart. She doesn't want us to pay a hefty amount just for that certificate of organic. And so we just need to trust her that she's sourced the best. And so raw organic honey really does contribute to our bone development too. It contains 165 different identifiable and non-identifiable minerals. So imagine that spoonful of honey is really going to do wonders. Okay, and the research has shown that a teaspoon of honey aids your calcium utilization and prevents osteoporosis. New Life honey is from New Zealand, which is known to be a really clean environment. It is 100% raw and organic, meaning that you get all the nutrients in there and all your sensitive nutrients. None of it is killed. Okay, it's not heated, not treated. It's pesticide and heavy metal free, which is concluded by the HSA and AVA. Apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar helps us to regulate our calcium metabolism. It is essential and high in potassium, so it really helps us to absorb our calcium, right? It's high in minerals to sustain bone mass, helps us to remove body toxins, relieves gout, arthritis, and stiffness. It helps us to balance your body's pH level. It is also from New Zealand, again, very large, green and clean. It's 100% organic. It is unfiltered, untreated, and not heated. Okay, it is all important because why? We don't want it to go through that distillation process where all your minerals and your essential enzymes get killed because of the heat involved. And this apple cider is made from 100% tree ripened apples from New Zealand. And so when an apple is allowed to tree ripen, it embodies minerals, embodies small minerals, and it makes it more beneficial for you and I. So when you have got apple cider and honey, I like to put them together and do a premix of a cordial to make it very easy for me to reach out to nutrient-rich drinks to mix throughout the day. And I don't just drink it, but I use it as my salad dressings. I use it as to put fruits and vegetables in to make infused enzymes. And you know what? These are full and loaded with vitamins and minerals and life enzymes that is needed for our body. So I'm going to show you a video on how you can prepare them in advance so it makes reaching out to these drinks a lot easier. And I mean, if it's there, you will take it as compared and put it right in front of your fridge so that you see it before you see something else. Okay, and so fix your eyes on your screen and I'll show you how you can prepare your very own Haniga. Okay, and so that was a very two simple ways of how you can prepare your own Haniga. Whether you are good in, you've got a jug, or if you're not very good in pouring into a very tiny hole, these are two simple ways of how you can prepare your own Haniga at home that is going to be ready for you to reach out to and use whenever you need it. Okay, so that you don't have to think, oh yeah, I need to stir honey, I need to measure my apple cider, and then mix it together. The extra process might deter you from actually reaching out to it. Okay, and so this is then a cookbook that I co-authored with my mom. I'm excited about it because in there it's filled with recipes that has helped us in our journey of health. And these are some foods, some recipes in there that I'm going to show you that really contributes to strengthening of our bones. Why? Because it's got the apple cider, it's got honey, it's got yogurt, colostrum if I use them in here. So I'm going to show you a little video of how you can put together a rice and vegetable roll. And you realize in there, we use the Haniga, we use the yogurt, and the ingredients that we use, like the carrots, the seaweed, the brown rice, they all contribute to strong bones. And so whenever we eat, remember, it's an opportunity for us to feed our body right and support it with the nutrients that it needs. Okay, and so fix your eyes on the screen and I'm going to show you how easy it is to do a DIY sushi. Okay, so you see, that was a really easy way, right, of making your own kimbap or your own sushi that is full of nutrients that our body can recognize. Okay, and so if you are going out for a picnic or you're just having a fun day at home with your family, do something like that, a family activity around whole foods or encouraging a healthy lifestyle, but don't say healthy, because if not, walls may be built up. Okay, just encourage the family to enjoy all together. All right. These are some other ingredients that we used in there, and it also supports a healthy, strong, healthy bones. So like flaxseed oil, which is great for and rich in omega-3, 6, and 9 in a very balanced ratio. It's full of essential fatty acids. Now, our body needs fat, so don't go fat-free. Okay, our body needs fat, but we need to get our fat from the right sources. So flaxseed oil is a great source of essential fatty acids. And this helps us to protect the matrix formation and bone formation in our body. Nutritional yeast is a great source of vitamin B, especially for vegetarians. And it contains trace minerals such as zinc, selenium. It helps us to boost our metabolism, growth, and immunity. So remember, we need zinc, right, for strong, healthy bones. Then we've got kelp. Kelp is a great source of iron, also and calcium. And then it also contains vitamin D, which is very, very important for our bones and muscle health. And then we've got bee pollen in there. Bee pollen may help you to boost your bone levels in calcium and phosphate and protect against osteoporosis or bone-related issues. Okay, and so remember, every time we eat, it is an opportunity for us to feed our body right. Did you know that there are so many different types of vitamins and supplements available? Then what then are we looking out for? Or you ask, is it even needed? Do I need to take a supplement if I'm already going to be taking so much nutrient-dense food and whole foods, and I'm taking my yogurts and apple cider? Do I still need to supplement? What do you think? Type in the chat box. Do you think you still need to supplement yourself or your diet or your lifestyle? Okay, you know what? Both the nutritional and the medical fields have clearly established that there is a need for additional calcium supplements to support our body. Why? Because study shows that 8 out of 10 do not get enough or sufficient calcium even in our modern day diet. So we think of our bones again like a bank account. There's only as much in there as you deposit. If we're not getting enough, then we need to get it from somewhere else, right? And so that makes supplementation even more important. Okay, and so what kind of supplement is good for us? So you see, from my studies, I learned not all supplements are alike. Hey, so if I look at a calcium supplement, there are so many different types of calcium available in the market, but they're not alike. Now take a look at the screen. There are 2 different types of calcium available. There's the inorganic calcium, which comes in the form of calcium sulfate, calcium carbonate, calcium sulfate, which is, they're about 5 to 10% absorbable. Meaning, if you buy a supplement that has calcium in those form, in organic calcium form, your body is only utilizing 5 to 10% of it. Meaning, if the bottle reads you get 1000 mg, you're actually only absorbing about 100 mg. And if you look back at how much your body requires, you're going to be taking a lot of it, right? And why do they use it? Sometimes because it's cheaper and it looks like there's more in there, but your body is not able to utilize that whole amount. Now, if we look at it in its organic form, meaning in its chelate form, what does chelate mean? Chelate is a Greek word for claw. Okay, and if you think of claw, what do you think of? I think of an eagle, I think of a hawk, I think of animals, right? They just claw and they don't let go. And that's what it does. When you have a calcium in its chelate form, it means that your body's able to recognize it and it clings onto you. And in an organic chelate form, calcium is known as calcium amino acid chelate, calcium ascorbate, and calcium aspartate chelate. And these calcium in this form are 85 to 90% more absorbable by our body. So what do you think of this? If you're taking it in this form, don't you think it is more, you're getting better out of your buck? And you don't need to take so much for that requirement that we have daily. So we are more effective and efficient, right, in taking our supplements. And so supplements in its chelate form is also found abundant in our fruits and vegetables. That makes our fruits and vegetables, the calcium found in our fruits and vegetables, more absorbable and recognizable by our body. Whereas in those animal proteins tend to leach our body from calcium from our bones, while plant-based protein does not appear to have that effect. Okay, and see, in New Life has got a blend of calcium complex. And what's complex? Complex is just a synergy of different minerals, right? And so in New Life, our calcium complex is a blend of calcium and boron, remember, the sidekick of calcium, zinc, magnesium, making it more absorbable by our body. And so when you put calcium and boron together, you get great absorption. And on top of that, your calcium is in its chelate form, which is 85 to 90% absorbable by your body. And it helps you to remove unwanted toxic metals from your body. It also has vitamin A, C, D, B6, and B12. It's got magnesium, phosphorus, zinc, and boron. Meaning this synergy of minerals and vitamins is going to be, your body is able to recognize it, able to utilize it. And on top of that, all of these minerals are able to be activated in a better and more optimal manner because of boron in there, right? And they all work together synergistically. Okay, it comes in a soft natural gelatin capsule. It enhances the bioavailability of the nutrients. It's easy to swallow, but if you cannot swallow it, you can always bite it. It's 100% milk-free, meaning it is vegetarian friendly. Okay, and it's best for you to take it throughout the day, like 2 in the morning, 2 in the evenings, and not all at once, because your body doesn't use all at once. So I've come to this part where we have covered all these calcium-rich whole foods and whole food extracts under one roof. I mean, I don't want to be sharing with you something and then you having to go to 1,000,001 places just to buy these things, right? And so I'm so happy that we can find all these things all under one roof. Okay, and these are some equipments that are needed for a healing home or healing kitchen for your bone health. So your yogurt maker for you to make your yogurt because it's at a constant temperature. And then you've got your alpha juicer. This is the old model. Remember the newer one that I showed you? It's more exciting, it's more sleek, it's more chic. It looks better and it also works a lot more efficiently. And then this is the rebounder. Now, if you've never heard of a rebounder, it's a mini trampoline. So this exercise is a weight-bearing exercise, but yet it doesn't strain your knees. How great is that? So if there's only one exercise that you can do at home, especially during this season, I would really encourage you to use a rebounder. The easiest and most effective exercise, it helps you to build your muscles and skeletal strength, even a cellular level exercise. It helps improve your eyesight, digestion, pregnancy conditions, improves your posture, tones your muscles, balance and reflex. It helps you to improve your oxygen level and provide excellent aerobic benefits. And what does it do? It helps us to in our lymphatic system drainage. Now, our lymphatic system is a bit like a garbage disposal system in our body, and so this helps us to ensure that it transports clean fluids back into our blood when you do your rebounder, and drains the excess fluids from our tissues, removing debris from the cells of our body, and transport fats out of your digestive system. Sounds good? And all just by rebounding. It is the ultimate exercise as confirmed by the NASA studies in the 1980s. It reveals that the rebounding trampoline as an extremely effective exercise shows that 10 minutes of bouncing on a trampoline is equivalent to 33 minutes of running in exercise benefits, meaning that we are more effective in our exercise, more efficient. Okay, did you know to burn 150 calories, you can either walk for 22 minutes, swim for 10 minutes, or run for 6 minutes, or depending on the intensity of your rebounding, rebound for 2 minutes. So we are really time efficient here. And we are also allowing our body to have weight-bearing exercise. Because if you look at it, swimming is not a weight-bearing exercise, meaning it will not contribute to strong, healthy bones. Okay? And so with everything that we do, or with what we have shared with you, it might be things that are new. And with new things, it often takes time to kickstart. But as long as you do it consistently for 21 days or 28 days, it becomes a habit. And habit takes time to cultivate, but it will also be hard to break. And so when you cultivate good habits in our daily regime, habits that would contribute to our health, then imagine making it consistent throughout your years will become really easy. Okay, so I encourage us to look into our daily regime and to see how we can make what we shared today a part of your lifestyle. Okay, and so these are some testimonies that I have, and they are of my siblings, my 3 siblings, and they all experienced bone-related issues in the year 2016, either a hairline fracture, a shattered foot bone, or a torn ALC. That one's more of like a tendon, right? But they all gave their body a chance by really supporting it with calcium-rich food. So we had a lot of juices for them, green juices, carrot juices. We had a lot of they took a lot of yogurts and what do you call it, colostrum, and Honeygirl was our everyday drink. Now Honeygirl, we have it available. Mom prepares them way in advance, and when we receive our app, she prepares them so that we have it a month supply. And so it makes it very easy for us to reach out to drinks like this to support our health, right? And you see, in the next year, all of them were on their way to recovery and better. So Danielle was able to bag gold at the ASEAN Para Games. Nat was able to continue his swimming, and even, I think, looks like he got first. And Gabe was able to go about and walk. They said that a torn ACL would take years to heal and recover, but she is now up and about walking, and her mobility has come back. And so it is very important to, and mind you, all these were on their own decisions. Like, we gave them a choice on what they wanted to do, and they recognize that there is healing in allowing their body to self-heal, self-rejuvenate, self-recover if they give it the right food, give it the right tools that it needs. And that's what they did. Yeah, we were just there to support them in this journey. And then there's this wonderful testimony of, I think she was 70 or 80 years old, but this lady, her mother-in-law called her to share that at her KK bone review, the doctor said that her bone density had increased and she can extend her review to 2 yearly instead of yearly. And what did she do? She actually just added in New Life Calcium Boron. And she's taking 2 capsules, means minimal, right? But even with that minimal, her body was able to use that and build on that. And our friend here, she liked to share about the rebounder. She does it 3 times for 10 minutes each time, and to help to reduce the pain and itchiness that she experiences. And so itchiness or pain is our body's way of telling us that there's an inflammation, help is needed somewhere. And so with that, our lymphatic system is activated, and that's when she does her rebounder. It helps her to release the fluids back out of her system. Okay, and she realized that she does it for more than 7 minutes, but this is again very dependent on the person. So imagine she just added rebounding to her lifestyle and she was able to experience the benefits of it. Now this is hot off our friend's experience. 7 February 2022, she actually fell on the 6th of February. She fell on some sunken cobblestones and she broke the side of her foot. So if you look at the screen, you will notice that you will see where the 4 purple dots are, is where her foot broke. And when she went for a review on the 18th, and so they put her on a cast. And during that time, she decided to take the opportunity to do a DRP, a 7 days DRP. She also increased her calcium complex to 8 to 9 capsules a day because she really, really wanted to get well and walk again. And she took a glass of homemade almond milk daily. And when she went back for her review subsequently, the doctor actually wanted to put in a screw for her, but she said, hang on, let me do this on my own and not put the screw in first. But the doctor did tell her it would take her 6 months at least for her to get back and walking properly. And then even then, it will not heal back because the broken part is just way too big for it to heal back in 6 months. So she would continue, she would still need the cast and be in the air boot for a long time. But she decided to take the narrow path and she continued with her calcium, her calcium complex, her colostrum, and her honeygas and her juices daily. And after her review on 22nd March, her doctor was really happy and amazed. In her words, the doctor is amazed at the healing process that her foot has gone through. So you notice the bone has grown back a bit more. And he said, you know, whatever you're doing, just continue doing it. And so you see, supporting your body with the tools that it needs to restore and rejuvenate is really important. In this case, she has seen it for herself within a span of 2 months, less than 2 months, in fact. Okay, and remember, we have hope. If we allow our body and give it the tools that it needs, it's able to regrow, our bones regrow and become new essentially after 7 years. Yeah. And this is a saying by Dr. Lin, and she has said that there's no miracle drug, no miracle vitamin, no miracle program, but a miracle body that heals itself. And we have been so wonderfully made that our body is able to self-heal, self-rejuvenate, and self-restore if we give it the right tools that it needs. And so friends, today, as we look at what we shared with you, it is exciting to know that there's hope if we give our body the right tools that it needs. And those are all the calcium-rich foods that we had under one roof. Those are talking about the whole foods like your salads, your juices, your yogurts, and these are all nutrient-dense to help support you in having strong, healthy bones, right? Okay, and so we come to the end of today's sharing, and I would like us to take one moment to think about one thing that whammed you today. What's wham? What's one thing that wowed you? Like, I never knew that. I never knew that if I support my body with nutrient-dense food, my bones are also supported. Yeah. Or what's one thing that made you go, aha, I think I can try that. It might be adding, I don't know, make your own yogurt or get a juicer and make your own juices or almond milk at home. And what is one thing that I must try now? Like, I think I can add calcium complex into my regime now. I mean, it's probably easier than adding other stuff in, right? So calcium complex is just taking another 2 or 4 supplements a day, and then I have my minimal for calcium. So what's one thing that whammed you today? And if you do have any questions, we will be delighted to address them.